Good morning, good morning. So first of all, I want to send this message because I literally started my week. Today is Tuesday when I'm recording this, and I'm gonna upload this today as well. But y'all, tell me how, and I'm gonna give you the whole story. And again, I this channel is for me to journal my experiences, my lessons, and my failures, my success, vlogs, all of that, right? So definitely subscribe because I want to create a network of hustlers on this channel. And I'm really gearing towards mental health and also just showing you guys how I override and get through different hurdles in my life and override objections that I may occur and come across. But so yesterday something interesting happened to me, and it was like a wake-up call. And I know a lot of us have these wake-up calls, and some of us don't listen to them, and some of us ignore them. And, I think it's important for us to stop doing that. So, Sunday night, right, at the end of the week, usually on Sundays, I plan out my days. I try to plan out the week coming ahead and make sure that I'm organized. Now, I used to not do that. I used to be a person that would just put a whole bunch of content out, not care what the content is about, and let the content do what the content do. I used to be a person that would just go into my store whenever I want, not really hold myself accountable. I didn't really know how important it was to hold myself accountable, to actually care about the numbers and care. And I'm not talking about views, I'm talking about legitimate numbers, like how many offers am I making for phones a day? How many products am I listing? How many eBay automation customers or clients am I checking on weekly? How many, keeping quotas and stuff, right? So I never really knew how important it was, never cared how important it was. I would just take whatever result I can get. And me taking whatever result that I could get, it led me to feel a false sense of accomplishment and success, when in reality the success that I was getting was mediocre. It wasn't going to push me further. It wasn't going to build me and help me grow even more. It was just really something that was just there, bare minimum, right? So I've been giving myself bare minimum, and I would say ever since last year I started actually having more quotas and actually analyzing my analytics more, just in general, in every asset of my business. So Sunday night comes and a friend hits me up and he like, yo, bro, you want to ball? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll play some ball. So as he hits me up to see if I want to go play some ball, right, I go and I play the ball with him until 9 p.m. knowing that I have a whole rule in my head that I need to be in bed by 10 p.m. every day. Now, I really want to go to bed earlier so I can wake up earlier, but I can't even work as much as I want because at a certain time in the morning, I got to take my kids to school. But it's whatever, right? Regardless, I try and make sure I'm in the bed. So I get home from playing ball. My kids are still up making cookies. They ain't take their showers yet. Everything is just scattered just because I made this impulsive decision to go and play basketball, which I enjoy playing ball. Ball is my therapy. It's the way that I deal with overthinking and stuff. But no matter what, it pushed me behind. So the kids didn't get to bed until 10:30, which is absolutely astronomically insane. I didn't even get into bed until 11:30 because I still needed to eat. So boom, that happened, right? So then I get into bed and I get distracted by, other things that I'm not going to really, discuss. It ain't nothing crazy, but other things. And I end up staying up until 2 a.m., 2 to 3 a.m., 2:30, right? And mind you, I got to wake up at 5 a.m. because I got to take my kids to school, get them ready. I get my kids up ready early. They have jobs that they handle. I have a whole structure. So this whole thing pushes me all the way back. And I don't want to blame anybody, so I'm going to be very generic about what I'm about to say. But the main point of this video is understand that if you surround people that don't have the same, if you surround yourself, around people, or you indulge in people that don't have the same mentality as you and priorities, you're going to fail. And you're going to allow these distractions to leak into your life, if you will, right? And that's what I did on Sunday, which affected me Monday, because guess what? When I got my kids up at 5 a.m., I was tired as heck, but I got up, dropped my kids off. I'm driving home, and as I'm driving home, I'm like, all right, man, no matter what, even though I went to sleep really late, right? And I messed my whole schedule up, no matter what, I'm still gonna get this work in. So I get to the crib, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get this work in. I'm ready to handle what I gotta handle on my checklist. Y'all, I was like, I can't do it. I gotta go to sleep, because I cannot sit in front of a computer and do work right now. My work is gonna be very inefficient. So I went to sleep. I didn't wake up until 12 p.m. So I slept 4 hours and went 4 hours behind schedule. Now, what I did do was I took the rest of my day and just banged all the work out that I needed. But the point of the matter is if you keep surrounding yourself around people that don't got the same priorities as you, sometimes those priorities that you do have will become less important, because you'll start to indulge in what other people got going on. And like that was a wake-up call for me. And it was a wake-up call because I was getting distracted by other people's priorities and letting their priorities override mine. And in return, it made me less productive. It made me less organized, and that affected my work. And throughout the day, I had an option, right? My option throughout that day was, okay, I can either go ahead and say, you know what, I'm gonna just try again on Tuesday and just not do any work. Or what I could do is go ahead and say, you know what, I'm gonna just do all the work I can for the remaining of the time that I have. And I did it. I didn't let this get me down too much, but we have to be really aware, of who and what we let in our areas, who and what we let consume our energy. You got a girl. If your girl ain't on the same type time as you when it comes to your business, if that girl isn't supporting you with your business, and this is something I learned, if that girl ain't supporting you with your business, if she not trying to help you stay on track, because we all get knocked off track, we all get distracted, we all slip on our priorities, we all do that. But like, do you have somebody that cares about you enough to actually tell you, hey, you slipping, broski, like, let's get it together, man? Do you have somebody like that? And a lot of us don't. A lot of us don't have that woman or that person or that friend that will call us not to complain, not to give us an earful of what their problems are, but instead just check on you and y'all hold each other accountable. You know what I mean? Y'all give each other positive reinforcement. And, that's important as an entrepreneur. So what I've done is promise myself just this week, right, day by day, that I'm going to do better. Like, I'm going to do better at actually holding myself accountable and not falling victim to being a part of whatever anybody else's priorities that don't align with mine are, right? Because people will actually bring you down subconsciously or without knowing, because they don't care to know about your goals, or they don't care to know about what you got going on, or what type of plans, goals, aspirations you have. So be really cautious about that, guys, because I wasn't, and I had to pay in the beginning of the week with this, and luckily I was able to get myself straight and get better. But it's a life of a hustler, right? Like, I don't do much throughout. Like, I don't do too much elaborate stuff. I don't travel as much. I don't do too much when it comes to exciting, sporadic things right now, because business is very, very delicate right now, especially with the tariffs and stuff. So it's like every second I can get of organization, of productivity, that's something I need to do. I need to lock the fuck in. Like, that's literally the point. It's lock in, and don't let anybody knock you off your P's and Q's. Don't ever let anybody take you out of your mode, because there is thousands of people that's in their mode while you're out, and you down and out, worried about other stuff, right? So lock in, pay attention to who you have around you.